Hey everybody, welcome to the self-playing critique of NXL Texas 2018. Now, this is actually from the practice right before Texas, so I apologize for getting this out a little bit later, but I wanted to make sure that I still got this out for you. Now, you may hear a little bit weirdness in my voice. I think I got a little bit sick over in Texas. It was nice and muddy and wet, and the weather was not the best, so I think I just got sick from that and then not being able to rest too much. But I wanted to get this out for you guys. Part 2 is going to be coming out very soon, so be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. But let's jump right into the very first point. Okay, so I did get the flash update, so you can still hear kind of the skipping in my DSR, but I got the flash update for it to be a little bit more consistent. So you can just hear me communicating here. I feel like I played very well this weekend. I played a lot up the center. So ultimately, I'm just talking with my team, just trying to figure out exactly what it is that is happening, what it is that I can do to help. I saw the chance to keep going, so I'm going to keep going and get up the field super far. And I was able to get up in, this is just a really fun center to play. So ultimately, I'm just trying to keep the lane going. It may have been better for me to look Dorito side. It ended up working out better. I'm just yelling what it is that I hear. I'm sorry, what it is that I see. And they end up blowing the point there. So this next one, I'm playing more of a 2-spot on the, actually I guess this one I was actually playing more of a 3-spot, kind of playing that back center position. So you can still hear the skipping, so it's a little bit better there. Now you're going to hear me say 45. What this means is the first number is how many bodies we have and how many bodies they have. So I knew that we lost a body, so I'm going to say 45. So that way our guys aren't just going to be running down the field. And just kind of run to their desk. I should have just kept shooting there, regardless if that guy got bounced or if it did break. If he gets shot a couple more times, so be it. I think we ended up losing a couple guys on the snake side, or I just saw the chance to move up here. I can't remember exactly. It's been a little bit now, but getting up to the center because they let me. So I'm going to take the opportunities that they give me. And come up to the center here. Now I'm kind of floating back and forth. I wish that I had gotten on that a little bit sooner. I don't know why I didn't yell that sooner. That was really bad of me not to... I still haven't yelled it, which is really, really bad that I haven't yelled God yet. There, like that's way too long for me to be waiting on that one. So that's something I could have done better. Now I'm shooting this way so that way I can shoot that guy going in there. Because there's that gap there, and yeah, so I'm gonna make sure that he. Yeah, so you heard the shock 2 all day. That's just basically saying shock 2. We know for sure that it is. We've killed 2 bodies. Now, what I could have done here, because it was a God there, that little W was what we were calling God. I could have actually gone to their wing that's right in front of me and kind of tried to pinch him out. Now, there was a guy. I think there was a guy on that Dorito side, if I remember right. If this was the same point. And ultimately, I'm further up the field, so I could have gone over and gone to their side of the field, to their W. I'm sorry, not their W, their wing. And that would have been able to pinch out this player. Now, he would have had to really worry about me, and even if someone else tried to come and bunker me, it allows my my players to shoot him on the way up. You can see that's who I was shooting at. There was a player in that Aztec there, and I was blocked out from that wing. So even if he tried to come and get me, I'm most likely going to trade with him, or my guys are going to shoot him on the way up. So you can just hear me talking back and forth with my players here. Now, what you're going to see in a second is you are going to see me actually get shot. Now, it's because the guy dove into the snake. If I'd been looking that way, I think I could have been able to shoot him. Obviously, if I was looking that way, I'd be able to see him go in. So it was just kind of a brain fart on my part. If I had gone over to their wing, I actually would have been able to see that guy go in, or, again, contest them. They'd have to come and get me or do something in regards to me being so far up the field. I really like the center on this field as we're getting further into this game. If they let you, you could just go straight up. Now, what I'm shooting at over here is the snake corner. I'm trying to drop in shots over the top of that little pin. Now, this is something that you can do. Sometimes it doesn't hurt just to shoot over the top of those bunkers. It actually might catch them off guard. They might not be able to see those coming in. It took me way too long to say that. I can't remember if I had heard that from a player or not. but I still should have gone ahead and been communicating, essentially, even with me being further up the field. Now, there are times where you want to be quiet. If I got up really, really far and didn't want them to know I was there, I'm not going to say anything, because if I was further up, let's say to the brick, and they didn't see me get there, that's an advantage that I have over them, and I don't want to say anything and give away my position. So what happened here was they gave me the chance to go, so I went. Yeah, so I'm going to make sure that I get that. I think this one actually, it skimmed past him. So you can just hear me talking to my players. I mean, the other team already knows that I'm here. So I should have been saying that a couple more times. Okay, I guess I did say it a couple more times, but I want to keep saying it, or you want to keep saying it, until your teammates relay it back to you. So you can hear me just continuing to say that. It's a little bit harder because I'm yelling into the bunker. Yeah. So anyway, I'm switching over here. There's a guy looking the snake side, so there's no point in us both looking over there. And I think we end up shooting out this last guy, and that's the end of the point. Alright, so something that I'm doing here that you guys really need to start doing is just shooting a couple times right when they say, you know, that they're about to start the point, just so that way you know that everything is on, everything is all set. So I was playing more of a two-spot. Actually, yeah, I was playing more of a two-spot on this one. The reason I think I dropped down to a knee here is I think the corner can shoot over the top of those pins into me. So this way I can keep shooting, make sure that I still have a lane going. And you see me a couple times, and I'm actually shooting over at the snake beam. There was actually a bounce shot off the end of that snake beam that it would kind of bounce into the god, or that insert bunker into the snake. So that way I could try to do something. The reason why I knew someone had died off that side, we made it where it was like the tournament, so someone walking on the back line, you had to exit off the field, so that way we knew that it was a dead player. So same thing at a tournament, you're going to make sure that you can see those guys walking off. I was just calling the shock or the kill for that reason. My guy had gone further out over here. Zach over here, he had gone out further into the god over here. So I was just making sure that I was close, that I can make sure that we're working this tape together. Now I was just asking him, can he go? Can he, you know, try to move further up the field? I'm just kind of checking out what's going on this side of the field. I probably could have kept rolling my gun. The reason why I went over here on the inside is that way it's not that I'm only coming out of one side of the bunker, so that way I can get back dominant on the snake corner that was there. Once he's dead, I just kind of went straight forward. So I'm just correcting the player, and then ended up, you can see him running down to go shoot the last guy. So that was the end of the point there. Next one, I was kind of playing more of a front spot, so I was getting out first to over to this tower here. I couldn't see if the guy had gone into the Dorito, so you're going to hear me say in a second, caution the Dorito 1, mostly because it's pretty easy to get into that bunker, to this Dorito that's right in front of me, yeah, it's not going to be something that's super difficult. Now, that thunder, that brick, was keeping me from actually going into the Dorito. Now, what I was trying to do here was actually shoot underneath. The brick kind of comes up a little bit there, so I was trying to make sure that I could shoot that. Ultimately, I was able to put him in, or he switched to the other side. That might have been what it was, but I was able to get into this Dorito. Now, what's going to happen is actually the other Dorito player gets into the Dorito 2, which is the one that's right in front of me. What I should have done, we do end up losing this point, but you can hear the communication. I'm actually trying to bounce it off this Dorito here to see if it works. At practice, I like to do that just to see, like, oh, that looks like it might line up, and then I'll try it.
Hey, money!
But, yeah, you can kind of just hear the communication.
Hey, caution D3.
I'm trying to tell him, you know, be careful of the D3. He might be in there. I could have been looking inside and just kind of shooting gaps, I guess, instead of trying to hunt kind of essentially in here. Once he got to Dorito 3, I probably should have tried to push the envelope and really try to wrap hard on the brick and dive into the Dorito 2 so that way I could look down tape. Because the way that this Dorito side is set up, you can get down on the outside, and it's harder to see those gaps in between the Doritos. So he ends up getting up to the Dorito side, and I just get shot by him. There's literally nothing I could have done different in that situation other than trying to get into the Dorito 2, which I think would have been the best option now looking back at this. Now, this may have been one of the points that I didn't have as much paint. What we were doing is you would play and then you would flip and flip the point right away. So on some of them, I didn't have a whole lot of paint. I started out with, like 7, 8 pods or whatever, and I would shoot through a couple of those, and then we would flip, and I still have to play kind of like a 2-spot, and keeping people in is going to be a little bit more difficult. So this was definitely my fault, though. If I'd been shooting this gap fine, I would have been good. So I'm just talking with my team here, just trying to make sure that they know what's going on. Trying to shoot, see if I can drop it down on the guy that tries to get into the snake 2, because he got into snake 1. If you stay pretty flat, I think you're okay, but if you come up just a little bit, you have a chance of getting clipped in the pack. So I'm just trying to shoot at whatever it is that I can, and honestly, it's going to make it more difficult for him to shoot. You can't really come up out of the snake if I have paint going over the top of his head. So that's essentially what I'm trying to do now. Just trying to talk with my Dorito side players. So you can hear me just kind of echoing whatever it is that they were saying. So what I'm trying here is actually trying to bounce it, I think was what I was trying to do there. And again, it's just I just try things, honestly. That's really all that it is. The snake corner was trying to drop it back in on me. So I was able to shoot him out. I don't know if it was me or someone else. It doesn't really matter. But I was able to get out into the god here. And I was using this trick. This is a trick that I showed you guys, is getting down at the bottom corner of the bunker and peek out. And I had a chance to get up further up the field. Now, what I'm about to do is actually go and bunker this guy. So once I knew that he got to where he was at in the snake, I was able to go ahead and go bunker him. So first I started shooting down the tape, and then I kind of stand up here to see who it is that's shooting cross field, if I can go and bunker this guy, so I end up going. What I could have done different is actually go ahead and dove into his snake 1, and I would have had a better chance of staying alive, but also, even if I just lay there, the guy that's cross field now has to worry about me. So even if I just lay there, I don't even shoot a ball, my Dorito side can go to work, but this guy has to now worry about me as well as the rest of my team. We were still able to close it out fine, but this is just the little things that could have been done a little bit better. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, so that right when part 2 drops, you'll be able to be informed right away. And as always, remember, watch, learn, win. Thanks.